What is up, Retromaniacs? My name is Mike. His name's Joe. His name's EP. We're here to talk about cards. You know, we all have them. Deep, deep, deep regrets. And the thing we regret the most is selling some cards we used to own that were really cool, right? Like, aren't that those are the biggest regrets people have in life? Well, probably not, but still, makes for a good video. So, Joe, think back. I don't care. Back to the time you were a baby and beyond. What do you regret selling? Little baby Joe up there.
Little baby Joe with his Star Trek cards. I don't know. All right, boys, I don't know if you knew this. I opened up a lot of Fleer Ultra Wolverine. I don't know if you did. You guys? Okay.
No,
I haven't seen anything about
why
that.
don't you do any videos for the show, for the channel?
EP, watch our content one time.
I'm sorry.
Would you? There's some videos there. I'm ironically not going to talk about that set, though. I'm going to talk about the less famously opened 2022 Fleer Ultra Avengers. Now, we only put a handful of boxes on the channel. Go watch those if you haven't. They're fun, too. But I opened up close to a case, not quite a case, but close to a case, and I pulled a Falcon Jambalaya, and I sold it. Now, I sold it for like $125 at the time, which was a good price. It's probably like a $50 card now. I, of course, could go and buy it, but it's not the point of that. It's the point that I sold the one I pulled, right? So I regret selling that one. You know, I made a profit on it, and I wanted to make sure I wasn't underwater on opening up a case of Fleer Ultra Avengers. But at the end of the day, I like to keep some mementos of the things I open a lot of. That's when I'm really, really bummed out I didn't keep. What are you going to do in the moment? You're like, okay, let's break even on this thing. Keep a couple of stuff, keep a couple of things for myself. But yeah, that's first on my list. A little bit more of a memento from Fleer Ultra Avengers.
I mean, what you talk about is going to be a theme for me too. Like, I love to have a keepsake from stuff like that, you know, and not just a token keepsake, something really, really cool. And I remember like that Ultra Avenger stuff is amazing. That's really cool stuff too. I think all the Marvel stuff that you opened this year was really, really amazing. So yeah, the Jambalaya is also like that. That's
I kept the
back in the day. Like,
I kept the beast that I did the pack battle with Mike Jones of Fleer Ultra Wolverine, and that's when I'm like, damn it, I wish I would have kept that Falcon.
Right.
That's usually what happens too. Like, it happens to a lot of the stuff you regret. It's stuff that you sold before you realized how serious you were about it. Like, maybe you sold off a colored parallel, and you decided later you were going to do the rainbow, and you sold that one. It's like, why didn't I think of it sooner?
Yeah.
So, All right, EP, your first regret.
My first one.
Do you even sell cards? I don't know.
I
do. You sell cards, bro?
Oh, okay.
I do, but also I sold a lot of cards back in 2012.
With water, unfortunately.
Okay. We all
2012. My first card is not a 2012 card, but it's sold in 2012. Bryce Harper 2011 Bowman Chrome on card auto.
Ooh.
I sold it for $250, which at the time I was doing a case project where I was buying cases and buying boxes and flipping those cards and moving it around. So in hindsight, at that point, that's what I should have done. But in hindsight, that card in a high grade is like a $2,200 card right now. It is. In hindsight, I could get a lot more money for it, but also I don't have any Bryce Harper autographs, and I'm probably priced out of all of them. So that it hurts in two areas there, but at the time it felt like the thing to do. But yeah, it's not the Bowman first; it's just a Bowman, but still.
I'm priced out of Bryce Harper autos, and I'd like to get one. So like, I'm feeling a little bit of like sympathy, regret for you, because I would feel awful right now if I had sold that card. Oh, that's a tough one.
Yeah, and it's like I tried to, for my list, try to take like the financial side out of it, but like that's, it's not like it's not as big as some people have lost because they sold too soon right before the boom, but still 10x, right? I mean, that's Michael Rubin 10x in the hobby. You could have 10x the hobby with your personal wealth there, and that's a real kick in the nuggets.
All right, my first one, I don't know if you know this or not, but I used to have a card shop. And I closed that card shop, and I had a lot of cards sitting untouched for at least 17 years, some of them quite a bit longer. I had a bunch of those cards I pulled out when I went through and I got them graded. I had a 1996 Collector's Choice Allen Iverson rookie card that was a PSA 10.
Mm.
Now, here's the thing. I had 2 of those that came back at 10. And these cards were they were opened up and in the empty box. So somebody opened the packs and they were just in there.
Yeah.
And I had gotten 2 Kobe's and 2 Iverson. I got 10s. I didn't get 10s on. I think I got an 8 and 9 on the Kobe, but I got 10s on 2 of the Iversons. I've been picking up some Iverson stuff here and there because I loved Allen Iverson as player. And like now I want to go back, but since I had 2 of them, I could have sold one and just kept one. And it was from my shop. And it was something I got a 10 on myself, but I didn't. And I regret not keeping one of those.
You know, I went through my collection and I found 3 Pacific Aurora Brady rookies. And luckily, I did the opposite of what you did, and I kept one of them because that would have made this list. That would have made the list with a bullet. I mean, that would have been number 1 easy. So yeah, that's. I know you being a big Philadelphia guy, being a big 76ers fan. I mean, that sucks.
Tough one.
That's a tough one.
Yeah, I did the same thing with my Brady's. That I think I sold a bunch of my Brady's at a yard sale way back when for probably pennies on the dollar compared to what they were even worth then. But I did find a couple one Pacific and a couple the press pass rookie cards, and I made sure when I got them graded, I found a handful, but I made sure when I got them graded, I was like, I'm definitely going to keep one of these when it comes back. And so I made that decision. That's not to say that I haven't in the past. Like it seems like a good idea. Well, this is a PSA 10. I should just sell it just because it's a 10.
Right.
It's worth so much more money than an actual like just a raw card. Like why would I keep it? But yeah, I agree 100%. I feel bad for you for that one.
All right, Joe. It's your second card.
You can tell it's true regret when you can close your eyes and remember exactly the place you were when you sold the card.
Mm.
I was doing a training at work, and I was in our training room, and it was right before my presentation part of this, and I got an offer on eBay, and I accepted. I asked you guys, what do you think of the price? And I remember you like, oh, that's a really good price. And it was $19.99 Topps Finest Marshall Falk gold refractor die cut number 200. I got $70 for it, which is still a good sale. Like if you look now, that's probably about what they're going for. This was back, I actually have the date, 5/10/2022. But again, in the grand scheme of life, what's $70? I mean, that's one that I see. Alico 3 just did a reveal, and he had, I don't think it was the Falk, it was one of the other players of that era. But he had that, remember the little deckled edge and everything? And I'm thinking it still had the peel on it and everything. And I'm like, once I hit accept, I regretted it. And now like looking back, but again, it's one of those things where I only want that one. I don't specifically want to go and buy another one.
Yeah.
But yeah, that one, because I probably pulled it in the shop in 19. I opened up a lot of Topps Finest, and to find that gold, I remember going through my inserts that I had put aside when I was going through my collection again, and I came across that. I'm like, oh man, that is such a sharp card. Shouldn't have sold it. I don't know what I was doing. But when you know the time and place,
it's bad.
and what you were doing, you know it's regret.
So, I mean, we've talked about Marshall Falk a million times. I actually had one of the gold. I still have the gold refractors, but it's of like, not even Tim Salmon, so a baseball player from Finest, from the deckled edge cards. They're so cool, and I'm glad I still have mine. But at the $70 at the time probably felt like the right call, right? That's a lot of money for a football card, for a card that's not part of your like PC or whatever. But yeah, it's tough when you have a card that you can't get anymore. That's really, or it doesn't pop up very often.
And I can absolutely relate to you because this is a true story. When I was looking through cards for this, I saw a Ray Allen gold refractor that I had out of Finest, the same thing. And I was like, boy, I do kind of regret selling that. And not because I collect Ray Allen or
Right.
not because it's super valuable, but they're so rare and they
Yeah.
don't come up. And it was like, just, I kind of felt like, oh man, I wish I
And
would have
we
kept that. And
pulled those.
just to be
We-
able to say, yeah, that I
Yeah.
had this card and I pulled it back in 1999. So I totally understand that. Alrighty, P, what is your second regret?
My second regret is back in 2012, I opened a case of 2009 Signature Stars. That's a Team USA product, or all the players, and that class was incredibly good. Like, I mean, Garrett Cole, Manny Machado, and a little guy named Bryce Harper. I pulled a 2-color patch with stitches, autograph, number to 25 of Bryce Harper out of it. I sold that card for $700. It almost paid for the case. So I, at the time, you know, I'm
Put that in
doing the case
perspective.
project.
That puts some stuff in perspective right
Like-
there, by the way.
Like, yeah, I mean, that if it's paying for the case, like, you almost have to sell it. I mean, but the thing is, like, you don't see cards like that number to 25. Like, you're not going to see, like with stitches and 2 colors, like, you're not going to see that pop up very often. My exact card sold, the number 10 out of 25 sold recently as a BGS 8.5 for $350. So I doubled my, I spent, I actually, so I actually worked out there. Financially.
Okay.
But the thought of this card, there's none listed right now. Like, I'm not gonna be able to get this card back if I wanted to.
Why didn't you buy it back?
So
I was just gonna say,
I
they
didn't know it was
we say it
available.
all
I
the
didn't-
time. They let you buy them.
I know I
back.
didn't know it was available. But
that would
yeah,
have
so
been so
like,
cool.
yeah,
That
but
would've
the
been
card is awesome.
It would have been great.
I
if he
thought that
said-
was going a different direction.
Yeah, so did I. I thought he was going to say it just sold for 3,500 or something like
Nope.
that.
No.
It would have been cool though, EP, if you would have said, "I really regret selling it for 700. Luckily, I bought it back for 350." Like that would have been a great turn, but that's not an EP thing.
Well, I'll tell you what though, if I had looked and it was available, like if it was like listed for 350, I was like, oh, maybe I should buy that card. I doubled my money on it, right?
Also, I did
Yeah.
not get the memo. Was this specifically Bryce Harper regrets?
Oh,
Did
there
I-
might be a theme to all of my
Oh
cards.
no! It's like the
Wow.
Ken Griffey Jr. situation on 3 cards with EP right now.
All right. You know, Joe, you mentioned a little while ago, I think it was you, Joe. It was one of you two just mentioned about sometimes you get a grade on a card and you have to sell it. And that leads to a lot of regret. I had a situation where I got a grade on a card that was one of 2 cards I got graded, that the 2 cards go together, but the grade I got on the 1 card made me have to sell the 2 cards.
Yeah.
It was the 1993 Simpson animation cell promo. You had Homer laying on the couch, and you had the acetate card of the rest of the family sitting on top of him that overlaid that card. And yes, I sent them both the PSA to get graded. I got a 9 on the cell, and I got a 10 on the Homer. And I think there have been a few more at the time, but at that time, the pop count was really low on that, and that card was worth way more money than it really should be worth.
Yeah.
So, but I had these from the shop. They were cards that were sent to me, promo cards to me, because I was selling comic books at the time. And every month when you got the comic book order form, you open up the packet and there were a ton of like promo cards and stuff. And that's where I got mine. So it wasn't just something that I pulled out of a pack. That was something I got because I was a dealer at the time. And for them, all these 30 plus years later, to be able to grade a 10 and a 9 on an acetate card.
Oh, 9 on acetate is like a 10.
It's so cool. I wish I had both of those cards, but I don't, because it was worth too much and I had to sell it.
You know, I would say it's one of those situations where you kind of wish they both just came back 9s. Right, like because you still have them, you know. So that's tough. But again, you're in those moments, and I think a little bit of a theme, with the exception of EP, who had an opportunity to buy the specific one back. For us, all 3 of us, I think we just want the specific one. Like I don't think we want to go out and buy a different one.
Yeah.
You know,
I could get
replace it.
them.
You could
Yeah.
get them, yeah,
Right.
for sure.
Right.
But it's all about the journey of the
Yeah.
cards that you have, and that's, you know, I think that checks a lot of boxes because if nothing else, we're a nostalgia channel for the most part. So like, it's a nostalgia of having those cards at some point.
Yeah, the cards that have the cards that have connection to the shop.
Mhm.
The only one, like I've sold a number of cards, but none that I actually want to keep. Like that's one thing I've been able to do is like things that I want to keep. I've kept all those from the shop. They're all connected. The 1987 Fleer solo pack with Barry Bonds in the front that I got from the bid board famously. There's stuff that I have that I will never sell for because it's from the shop and it's from those days. There's that connection I have with that, and so I completely understand that the thought that, but it's like you think about it after the fact. But at the time, it always seems like a good idea. Like it's a 10. It's worth so much money. It's such a pop. I have to sell this. But yeah, I understand that regret 100%.
All right, Joe. What's your
right.
last card you regret selling?
I'm going to throw out a quick honorable mention. Star Trek Nemesis Patrick Stewart autograph. I regretted selling it because at the time I did not know I was going to do this project of trying to have every Patrick Stewart Star Trek auto. And of course, I sold that card, the Nemesis autograph, and didn't think I was going to be able to find another one because they don't come up very often. Luckily, I found a collection, got it. So that's why it's not on this list, but that would have definitely made it number one with a bullet. All right. My actual card, 1999, Leaf Rookies and Stars, Dan Campbell rookie card. I had two of them. Why didn't I just keep one? I got $50 each, which is ridiculous.
That's why.
That's why. And they're probably like $20 cards out. They still have some value. By the way, if you have them, go check them. I ended up keeping one of his score supplementals. I wish I would have just sold that because the Leaf Rookie and Stars, it's a better one. But I'll tell you what, guys, I mean, Dan Campbell, probably my favorite head coach right now. I'm really rooting for the Lions. He's a lot of fun. That team's a lot of fun. This should tell you that I generally don't sell things I don't want to because none of these cards are like, oh my God, it's a Bryce Harper with 12 stitches. Like if that I would just kept it, right? Like, so for me, it's like some of these like ancillary type cards that would just be nice to still have. But yeah, this is one. I don't know what your third one, Mike, is, but maybe we should stick around and give a bonus one where I think you and I both might have kind of in the back of our minds, maybe. But this one
Not
is
that one.
Oh, okay. This is something that, you know, I just wish I would have kept. Again, I don't want to go out and buy one, even though I could probably get it for like $15-20. But again, it's the whole idea that I had it. It was in my collection. I was pulling. I'm like, Dan Campbell card. I wonder if they have value. And I remember looking on Terapeak. I'm like, holy crap, on eBay right away as soon as I saw them. A New York Giant, by the way, EP.
Oh, right. Yeah, I have the score supplemental rookie, but I don't have any of the other ones. So it's having that card in your possession and then regretting it. But you have that thought at the moment. I gotta get what I can out of this right now.
$50, come on,
Right,
there's no way.
Right. Like you said, you can buy it back for 20, but it's just not quite the same, right?
Yep, exactly.
And the three of us, like we text each other all the time when we find cards that we didn't realize were valuable that are valuable, so we can all go dig through them. So
yeah,
I found I think I had 3 Skybox Dominion.
The Dominions, yeah.
And I had a bunch of the score supplemental, but none of the rookies and stars. So,
yeah.
But yeah, that's what we do. We like these random cards that come up. You go, oh, I didn't know that was worth money, and then we sell them because why wouldn't you? So,
yep.
All right, EP, what's your third regret of selling a card?
Bryce Harper regret.
Well, I have revealed it's going to be a Bryce Harper card, and this one actually does hurt quite a bit, but in the same breath, it's similar to the rest of them. This is the 2012 Topps Archives, which you guys know is one of my favorite sets from Topps. I love Topps Archives. SP Auto Rookie of Bryce Harper. I sold it for $350. They sell for like $700, $800 now, but there are none listed on eBay. Like, this is a really tough card to get, and it's the 1984 Topps design. So I love the 1984 Topps as it is, and so this card really hurts. That I mean, obviously it was worth too much money for me to keep during this project, but being the 84 Topps, being a Harper rookie autograph, an SP card, it hurts to not be able to. That's one that I would actually think about buying just because it is probably my favorite rookie card of his.
In the 1984 set had Don Mattingly rookies, and Don Mattingly is one of your favorite players of all time.
Oh, yeah.
He's not, but
No,
no,
Okay.
I'm a Yankees fan. But I like the 84 set.
So wait, you're a Yankees fan and you like the 84 set, but you don't like Don Mattingly. See,
It's not that I don't like him. He's not a PC player for me. He's not somebody
Okay.
I look for his cards. But
interesting, but
Anyway, it has not been mentioned yet. Holy shit, was EP pulling bangers back in 2012?
Dude,
Yeah.
Bryce Harper funded the case project. I pulled
Like-
so many freaking Bryce Harpers.
3 here that we're talking about back then worth like almost $1,500 total dollars. I mean, that's crazy. So yeah, EP had the golden touch. I don't know what happened to it, but Drew Jones. Drew Jones, I take it back. He pulled a Drew Jones.
he just doesn't do this often enough,
Right,
Because he
right. If he
clearly
did-
has the golden touch, but
Yep.
it doesn't work if you don't open anything.
Yep, true.
And
All
we're gonna
right.
announce that we're gonna start breaking on the channel, and I'm gonna do the breaking.
Called EP's
We'll
golden
have more-
touch.
yeah, we're going to be the new backyard breaks. Everybody's going to think we're getting loaded product, but it's only Bryce Harper.
Yeah, it's all Bryce Harper cards.
All right, I have an honorable mention too. Back when I had the shop, I pulled a 2002-2003 Upper Deck game jersey autograph card of Patrick Waugh, numbered out of 50. And yes, I know the specifics of it now because I remembered pulling Patrick Waugh, and this was literally the only jersey autograph out of any of the Upper Deck that he had. So I was able to pinpoint it. I can't believe one of them. There's only been one of them listed on Terapeak, like on eBay in the last 3 years, but it only sold for $91. This was like 2 years ago. I don't know how that was possible because I sold it for, I think, like $200 or $300.
I was gonna
back then.
say.
I think it was like
Yeah.
250-ish. So yeah, that's my honorable mention. But I'm going back to the shop days again for my number one regret. I mean, I was a card shop. If I pulled a card out, I had to sell it. Like that's just how it worked. I didn't get to keep the stuff, especially when it was something that was good and would help me pay bills. So, but I pulled the 2001 Upper Deck SP Future Watch Ichiro rookie card that was numbered to 1250, and apparently there are only actually 1234 of them. Look at trading card database, you'll learn things you never knew. But yeah, that card, I sold it for, I believe it was 500. It was either $500 or $600 at the time. Now in a PSA 8, it is a $1,200 card. A PSA 9, it is a $2,200 card, and a PSA 10, they're like $3,500 to $4,000. But
And yours was pack fresh.
Pack Fresh had to be a 10.
Had to
So,
be.
well, probably a lot better chance of it than when a lot of these actually got graded. But it's kind of funny too, though. Like you pulled a card like that, and there was a time in 2001 you didn't go, "Oh, I got to grade this," which kind of blows my mind. Like looking back, but it's how it is. But it's Ichiro. He's going in the Hall of Fame. If he's not unanimous, you're an idiot if you didn't vote for him.
Right.
I mean, just one of the most fun players of all time. Ichiro Mania was crazy back then. Probably the best card I remember pulling from my shop. It would be kind of cool if I had it, but I don't.
How much did you say you think you sold it for back then?
It was either 5 or 6. 500 sticking in my head. I think it was 500.
Like the problem is though, that was rent back then. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like that was
absolutely
I could
was.
keep
That
the
was a
shop
month's
open
rent.
for another month from that one card. So yeah, that's the problem. Like I give you more of a pass for cards back then because really you had to. You were a business. Just quick as an aside, I really thought that the card that you might have made your list is the 2000 Bowman Chrome Tom Brady rookie card PSA 8, which we both owned at one point. And that's an honorable mention for me as well. So that's the one I thought you might go with. But yeah, for this card, you had to do what you had to do back then. It wasn't like nowadays where it's like, this is ancillary money. This is your job. So
And I didn't even think about it like that. Like
Yeah.
it actually, it's hard. Like I've had to develop wanting to keep stuff because
Yeah.
I had a shop. I was a dealer. Like that. I'm
even at the
different than a
beginning of
collector.
us getting back into this, you
Yeah. I'm
you
just
thought I'm
selling.
going to sell, and yeah,
Yeah, all the cards on my list were the same way. Where I was like, I gotta sell this card. Like I can't. I gotta make it this whole thing work. But so but that regret kind of hurts quite a bit. I'd like to think about this 2001 card. Like the thing about it is like there are so many different levels where you could like, okay, well I could have got this graded in 2005 and then sold it, or I could have sold it in like 2012 or something like that too, or got it
Yeah.
graded in 2012 and sold it. Would have been so many different opportunities for you to sell it at some point over the course of that time that you probably would have sold it and you wouldn't have been able to make it to now to have it anyway, possibly, but
Yeah,
especially
definitely.
with that mindset. So, but I understand that you're right though, 100%. Like that's an amazing card. It's a cool card.
All right, there you have it. Let us know in the comments what you regret selling. We read our comments. We're not like some YouTubers that just do whatever, turn them off. I have notifications on my phone, so if you comment, I even get a notification.
and I'm
How
bored,
much do we
so I
love you?
look.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Joe has nothing going
I
on.
have nothing going on.
All right, guys, that was a lot of fun. We'll see you next week. Take care, guys.
See you, boys.